Hey and welcome! I thought it was high tide since I've gotten this big growth of my channel in the last few days to at last do my big melee hunter guide for this phase. So we are gonna start with just checking out my gear so you can see what I'm working with. These are my stats. I have the STV bow, so you will see that buff going off sometimes. And I'm full survival spec. You can also be Beastmaster, but it is a little bit lower damage right now, but not by a lot. There is also people that are experimenting with going into wild strikes and then going Beastmaster. I don't know the damage numbers on that, I haven't tried it. Might try it on my alt when I level it, but right now I am full survival and I am popping off, you could say. So we are gonna start with the rotation. Let's go. Okay, so the basic rotation for melee hunter is pretty easy and accessible, I would say. There are very few buttons that you really need to press. Let's say we are running into a boss right now or a pack of mobs. You put on Aspect of the Cheetah to get in there as fast as possible. You hit Arcane Shot, Serpent Sting, if you have time, just for that extra damage. But you want to get in there as fast as possible. There is no, sitting and pressing multi-shot in the beginning or anything in this phase. Because with the new runes, it is a damage loss, 100%. But yeah, you run in. When you're there, if you have a pet, you change back to Aspect of the Hawk when you have time. Because Aspect of the Hawk gives your pet 15 extra AP right now. But that isn't a really big buff for the pet or anything, so don't you do that when you have the 3-second window after Raptor Strike. So, but then when you get in, you Flanking Strike, Raptor Strike. If you get a reset on Flanking Strike, you hit that again as fast as you can. And then you just Raptor Strike again. If you get the proc that removes the CD, you just continue spamming Raptor Strike until you get a Flanking Strike cooldown reset. And then you continue on Raptor Strike again. But yeah, when you get the 3-second cooldown, that is when you can start playing around with the different things to increase your damage. You can use Immolation Trap macros and Explosive Trap macros. What these do is that they Feign Death, they make your pet passive, and that gets you out of combat for a sec. So you can put a trap down in combat. So I will show you that when we fight a mob here later, when they respawn. Someone is farming them right now. But yeah, in that 3-second window after you use Raptor Strike and don't get a proc, that is when you use bombs, traps, Carve, if you have Carve, and well, yeah, stuff like that. You can change aspects. When your mana gets low, you of course change to Aspect of the Viper. And it will make you regain mana very, very quickly. It does lower your DPS, well, your damage with 10%. But that is not a high price to pay for all that mana regen. But when you start to get depending on the boss HP, of course, if it has a lot of HP left, you go up to like 80% and then change back to either Aspect of the Monkey or Hawk. So you don't actually accidentally go above 100% mana, because that it will be, of course, a DPS loss. But yeah, that is, I would say, the basics and a little bit of extra stuff, of course, with the bombs and such. Let's try it out. Okay, so let's pretend the pet is the tank. He runs in, you go after him. Flanking strike, raptor strike. You get a proc, raptor strike, raptor strike. Oh, we're lucky. And we change. Let's pretend that is Hawk, because it was in the wrong. I pressed the wrong macro. But yeah, that is the basics. Let's find another mob. Okay, here we are. We run in. The tank goes in. Flanking strike, raptor strike, trap, raptor strike. The trap macros is in the description of every video right now. Also, if you like the weak aura, it is also in the description, so you know. Also, a link to my build is there, if you want to have a closer look. There is some stuff you can change out that doesn't actually increase your damage, really. But yeah. But as you could see, in the 3-second window, you can put a trap down. You could maybe throw a bomb. So that is all the basics right now. Now I did it wrong, but yeah, ignore that. Now we can change. Actually changed back 2 times, so ignore that too. And if you are full survival with Lone Wolf, you also don't really need to change from cheetah to monkey and so on. That only really helps if you get attacked. So you can just go between cheetah and viper, because you don't do less damage when you're dazed if you get hit by AoE or something. But be ready to, if you get aggro, you just change. So it yeah, because what has always been important in World of Warcraft is that you need to be fast. You need to be able to run out of danger, and you need to run in to what you are attacking. So cheetah is very overpowered, really. Unless you get hit by something, of course. But when we have learned all the mechanics of this raid, you will know when you can just stay in cheetah form and not. So yeah, cheetah will help us a lot in some encounters, I'm very sure. So that is the basic rotations, I would say. So let's go over to the next bit. Oh yeah, one last thing before I leave Gnomeregan. When it comes to pets, the cat is king. If you need a pet, you should use the cat if you want to maximize your damage. But don't feel forced to do it. If you really love another pet, just go with that one. Like birds or, I don't know, wolves. You do help the rest of your party if you have a wolf. But we did make some calculations on it, and it is a DPS loss. So yeah, go with the pet cat. And if you do have a pet, you should add an attack. You should add petattack to your melee macros, as long as you remember to also have a petpassive macro as well, so you can stop it from accidentally attacking like this. Now I just press my my raptor strike. Because sometimes you spam the buttons after combat and then suddenly you pulled the whole room. Not good. Not good. But yeah, let's go to gear. Okay, so we're back at 60 upgrades. You can go here and mix around with different ideas you have. But yeah, let's check on some pre-raid biz gear. And, you know, don't take this, you know, too hard or anything, because the raid wasn't that hard. You know, I didn't have several of these things, and we still cleared it. I was actually top damage on boss and trash damage on my server. I have after, at least right after the raid. I have been dethroned now, but I'm still pretty high up, I think. So yeah, let's start. The helmet choice is like there has been conflict about it. This is pretty easy to get at least, and that is good. But a lot of people say that Artemis Cowl is better because it has a lot more AP, and it is AP that your pet can also gain from. But I don't know, man. One whole crit is a lot for a hunter. And yeah, and it is also a very dear item to me, so I am choosing the Raging Berserker helmet. And if you're lucky and got the full set of BFD gear, then I would just stay with that, actually. If you have the full set, so you get the plus hit, just stay with that until you get a piece from the raid that breaks it. But yeah, that is basically the helmet options. And then neck. I haven't done this quest yet, but it is yellow, so it should be soloable for us hunters pretty easily. 20 AP compared to like the Sentinel's Medallion that has only 11 agility. 11 agility is also good. It is a pretty big chunk of you know, crit as well at this level. I think it was I think it's like half a crit, because Trip Runner Dungarees has more than twice the agility, and that was like 96% or something. So this is half a crit. So if you have a lot of agility items, you know, it does make a difference too. But I think I will go with the attack power one, actually. I'm gonna go do that quest today. Also, these shoulders are very, very good. You get them from a, you know, the mechanical egg quest in Feralas. You have to go rescue a robot chicken. This quest I will also go do today. I'm pretty sure I have the time. My friends has already done it, so it is kinda easy to do in a group. So yeah, very good shoulders. And here, the cape. I am going with the crit cape from the STV event. As I said before, one whole crit is a lot of, you know, it is a lot. So, but if you really, really hate the STV event, you know, there is other stuff to buy or get. If we look back at the Surgeon Cloak. Surgeon Cloak. As you can see, this is still a very good cloak. It has 8 AP and you get stamina and intellect. This is still a very good cloak. So you can just keep that as your pre-raid biz. Chest. The chest quest is it was very hard. We were actually 2 groups helping each other to do the quest at the same time as several horde groups were trying to do it. It was chaos. But in the end, we did it. We had to kite them because they hit so damn hard, and we didn't have a real healer because I don't think any of the better healing classes gets anything from this quest. So you need a friend to just come help you heal, I guess, unless they want the gold. But yeah, this is a very good chest piece. 28 AP, almost a full crit. Very, very nice. But you can also just go buy the Nightscape tunic on the auction house. This is, of course, not as good, but yeah, it is very cheap. Very cheap. And it will be good enough. You will be invited to the raid with this on. So don't sweat it. Now I press the button. Yeah, let's continue. Bracers. I failed in my mission to get exalted with VSG because I don't really like having to join pre-mades. It puts a lot of pressure on me to have to preform, I guess. Anxiety. But yeah, I will soon have it. You do get 1,000 reputation if you do the quest in Ashen Vale every week. So I only need a bit, maybe 4 weeks, and I have it with some VSG in the middle. So I will get one of these. And yeah, it's very hard to choose. I think I'm leaning to the leather bracers just because it has so much stats, and with Lion it is good, very nice, and so much agility. It is a lot of a crit. But right now I am actually using Ironia's Bracers of Power. As you can see, it has a lot of AP, and it actually dropped 2 times in 5 runs. So hopefully you are as lucky as me when you go to Uldaman. So, unearthed bands of agility. Wow. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot to talk about different shoulders. If you don't want to go do a big quest in Feralas, you can also go get Revalosh shoulders in Uldaman. It is a pretty big drop chance. He only has he has 5 things he can drop, and yeah, they are very nice. I have these right now. Very nice shoulders. Nice for PvP since they have a lot of stamina. And let's take weapons last. So yeah, here are the gauntlets. Gauntlets of Divinity is the best gauntlets you can have unless you have leatherworking. I am actually using Gauntlets of the Divinity for trash, and then on bosses I change to the Void Touched Gloves for the use effect and chance on hit. Because on bosses, chance on hit is a lot more important. So yeah, that is what I do. Let's change. The belt slot. The belt slot is there is a lot of BOEs that are the best, and it is a pretty high number of BOEs that are better than this, but they are super expensive. I checked on the auction house, and they are yeah, over 100 gold, all of them, even the green ones, over 100 gold. So either you love Arati Basin and you get honored and buy one of these, It's your choice. Either you go with AP or you go with one critical strike and a lot less AP. I would go with the crit. So am I. Or you actually go back to Wailing Caverns of all places and get this. Combined, this has 11 AP, and if you check, like this only has 14 AP. This one was 130 gold on Lone Wolf right now. Haven't checked this, but come on. And this one, this is the best one you can get for BOEs. This was like 300 gold. So yeah. And there's also this one, you can do a quest. That's pretty good. Or just buy the Dusky Belt. This will also be cheap, it's leatherworking. But Cobra's Grasp has more AP than those. So we'll see if I have the time to go to VC and try to get this before the next raid. But yeah, otherwise I will just continue with the Scarlet Belt I have right now. En Tolke, apropå liksom, Scarlet. The Scarlet Pants are really nice. It is 20 AP after all, and you get stamina, so it's better for PvP and such. And something I noticed in the PvP event, as a melee, it is actually really nice to just skip the pet and go Lone Wolf. And just try to ambush people when you get out of the invisibility. Because if you have your pet out, they will see the pet and know you are following them, and they can kill the pet. And if the pet dies, it's a real bother to try to get him up again with all the people around. But since you only have to finish the raid to get the Trip Runner, you will not have these legs for long anyway. So yeah, Trip Runner is really easy to get. Here are the new ones. Trip Runner Dungarees. I hear Horde has a bug with the quest, so I'm not sure. It should be fixed by next raid, right? It is ridiculous if if it's still bugged. But yeah, Alliance, no problem. You can get this. Bam. Boots. I would say these are the best boots you can get right now. Well, that are easy to get, I mean. It is a quest in Stranglethorn Vale. It is the one where you have to hunt crocodiles, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna do that as well today, because I still have the BFD shoes. And this is, it is not a big upgrade, but it is a couple AP. So I will go do that. And here for rings, I actually have both the Warsong Gulch rings, 38 and 28. And this is the best combination of rings you can have pre-raid right now. That are also basically free. You only need to be honored. And that is not hard to accomplish, I can assure you. But we can check, some people really hate PvP. Sadly, this ring is out of bounds. You can't get into Sulfarak. And this ring is super expensive. So if you're Horde, you're lucky. You can still have the Band of the Iron Fist from the BFD raid. Yeah, and then Alliance can still have this ring. It is 6 AP and all the other stats. So that is still pretty good. And there's nothing wrong with this one either. It's 7 AP. So, you have a lot of options. They are not as good. But it's close enough. Close enough. And then trinkets. Hopefully you have Avengers Void Pearl, and you still can go get it. The raid is super easy at level 40. Just get a couple friends or some randoms and just plow through it. And then for the second trinket, there is a lot of cool trinkets in the raid, but pre-raid, we don't have that many options. If you have Engineer, you have some fun ones like the Mechanical Dragonling, some Mortars, stuff like that. I don't think you could have Death Ray, right? Only gnomes could have that or something. Or was it that you can't? You can't get Gnomish Engineer yet, I think. I'm not sure. So yeah, it is for the second one, maybe this one. This actually gives you some damage at least. So a use effect, burn people in front of you. It is something. I haven't looked at this quest, but it can't be too hard. Requires level 40. Maybe I'll go get this actually. I don't have the gold right now to level Engineer all the way to 200. Well, maybe I do now. I actually did sell some stuff. But it is very expensive right now, so it might not be worth it. Just wait a week more and it should drop down a lot, hopefully. And then when it comes to bows, the STV bow is our bis. It might be our bis at level 50 as well. It wouldn't surprise me. This works for melee attacks as well. And if you don't have that, you want something like, well, the gun from BFD is still good. It has 6 agility. And you can, of course, get a couple from the raid. This one with 12 AP. 8 agility from the raid. But we are talking pre-raid right now, so yeah. Mithril Blunderbuss. Crafted by engineers, 5 agility. So, one of those. But now, weapons. I would guess most people are revered with Warsong Gulch. Except, but at the same time, I have not everyone, of course. Some commenters said, I don't have that. What can I use instead? Let's go to one-handers and see here. And if we're talking swords, since the Vanquisher sword is from a quest, it is a very, very good sword. So let's continue on that end. Here's a quest in Badlands that gives a pretty good sword. You have to look at the maximum damage it can do. That is the most important part. I know, yeah, here's the other, here's the SM Quest sword for Alliance. It is pretty good. It is a bit fast, but it is, max damage. You can't get better than this unless you have the Protector sword. And for Horde, you can get the Nordic Longshank from Uldaman, the dwarfs. So that is pretty good. And actually, the sword from BFD is almost as good, maybe better, since it has the chance on hit. So yeah, very close in max damage, as you can see. Only 2 points away from each other. And with the chance on hit, it probably wins over those, I would say. But if you are Horde, if you're Orc, then you can start looking at Access. Access will be the best for you pre-raid and maybe even in the raid, because 5 axe skill gives you so much extra damage. It is ridiculous. And as you can see here, this is a crafted axe. Should not be that expensive. And it has as much damage as the SM Quest Sword. And you get all that extra damage from the axe skill. And if you're rich, I'm guessing at least that this axe, Stalvan's Reaper, is very expensive on the Horde side. This axe and this BOE axe are the best axes you can get pre-raid if you are an orc. And they are, of course, also better if you don't have the protector swords. You know, if you're rich, you could just get 2 of these if you really hate PvP. And if you, I don't know, skip this as well. Because combining 2 of these is better. Well, as you can see, this has 86, this has 94, and the protector swords has 103. So yeah, Stalvan's Reaper is really, really, really good. Orc Biz. So, let's talk about some talent stuff and how different talent builds are performing right now. Okay, so here is my build right now. This is what I normally use. I normally use these runes, this talent build, but this at least rune setup might not be the best right now. It is very, very close, but if you check the leaderboards, the top DPS melee hunter, he is survival, but he is still using pet. So he is using Heart of the Lion and the BM rune. He never used Carve actually, at least on bosses. I think I checked boss damage actually. So Carve is, I guess, it is very, very good on trash. But then if you check many of the other hunters melee hunters in the top 25 world, a lot of them are still BM spec, deep BM all the way. So don't feel pressure into being survival if you don't want to. You can still top DPS if you are BM spec. And sure, I checked their pet damage, and his pet damage did about around 25% of his damage. I think it was. Let's check it again. Yeah, 23%. Almost 24%. And this is, overall boss damage. So yeah, 24%, let's say. But then you say, but yeah, Lone Wolf, it gives 30%. So Lone Wolf has to be better, right? But if you remove Heart of the Lion, you do lose a lot of stats. You know, even if you have another hunter in your party that gives you 10%, with his Heart of the Lion, you still lose another 10%. So it is probably very, very close if you have another hunter in your party. But yeah, so you can choose 100%. It is so close right now that it's your choice. You can do what you want. And that is really, really nice. We have, you know, options, choices. You don't have to be this or that to be optimal. And as you can see here also, he used solid dynamite. I think they are like 30 silver per dynamite right now. Dragon Breath Chili, very nice. As a guy, he has a very long name. Burley something. Sorry, I'll link him in the description. He has a little YouTube channel where he has some very, very cool spell damage hunter content. But anyway, apparently Dragon Breath Chili scales with spell damage as well. and he uses Explosive Trap. I'm guessing Explosive Trap can crit, and therefore it is a bit better. But if it is in the beginning of the fight, I'm guessing, Immolation Trap has to be a little bit better since it does more damage unless you crit with Explosive Trap. But towards the end of the fight, of course, use Explosive Trap since it does almost 200 damage immediately on the target. So yeah, that is that. Here's also some other guys. This guy has full BM. As you can see, he has the frenzy effect. And let's see if you can see his dog. Still only it did well look very, very similar to the full survival guy. Almost 24%. So very, 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 very similar damage. Very nice. And he also has the dismantle. This must be a later log, I guess. So yeah, I also have this now. It was pretty expensive, but I will probably have the pre-raid swords for a long time. So I felt it was worth it to try to min-max a bit. It is hopefully it does a big difference in my logs. So yeah. So as to just to surmise, you can be survival, you can be beastmaster. The difference isn't that big. You can be lone wolf if you have another hunter in the group, or if you love your pet, keep the pet. You do not have to have lone wolf. It is we are very, very even right now. So that is very, 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 very nice. Options and choices for the player base is always the best. So yeah, that should be it, I think, for talents. You have in survival, you don't have to have entrapment if you don't like that. You can have those points in wing clip instead. And if in case someone is wondering why I don't have counterattack, I just don't feel there is any room for it. There is so few times that you really can, press another button in between the raptor strikes and flanking strikes. That I used to rather have that point in survivalist instead for the PvP and general survivability. So that is that, I think. Let's see if there is anything else I can talk about in this big guide I'm trying to make. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about enchants while I was on the gear side. It is pretty easy. If you have money for the dismantle enchant, you go with that. If you don't, you go with 3 melee damage, 5 strength on bracers, 2 all stats on chest, 3 agility on cloak, 3 agility on boots. Since we have aspect of the cheetah, we don't really need the speed enchant as much. If you PvP a lot, then go with the speed enchant. I might actually, now when I think about it, since I do PvP a lot, maybe I should go with that. I think you can have it now at least. It isn't in the list. Minor speed. Yeah, you can have that. Oh, it was here. I'm just dyslexic. Let's see. Yeah, and then 5 agility on gloves. So that is that. I will probably make a raid consume video on the side, because this video is already very long. And not everyone really cares about that, I guess. So I will go through you know, the normal stuff, the you know, minimum requirements, and then I will also talk about the more min-maxy part of raid consumes. So I'll see you for that video. Like and subscribe if you like this content. And my weak auras, macros, and a link to my build is in the description of the video. And I'll see you next time.